Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of The Sweet House. And I have on my dear friend, my blogger bestie. Nobody even calls us bloggers anymore.
I know.
We're influencers now.
Yeah.
But I want you guys to meet the one and only Natalie Kennedy. She not only is beautiful on the outside, but so beautiful on the inside. And I think that's why I gravitated to you like immediately years
Same.
ago when we first met. And I just I've loved you ever since then.
Same.
So welcome to The Sweet House, where we have
Thank
conversations about our non-linear career trajectories, which has been Natalie's story. She has gone from having a first of all, pageantry, sales job, influencer life, now business mogul because she's got Salt Project. Look, don't look like that. We are projecting this good energy.
Okay, we're going to become moguls.
Yes, we are moguls.
We're going to be moguls.
Yes. So, but I'm just happy to have seen you through all these different stages. And I think we were just talking about how people don't see a lot of our personalities or what we do on social media. So I want to talk about all of that so we can tell the people.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. So let's go back to when Natalie was like pageant Natalie.
Yes.
What did pageant Natalie want to do with her life?
I wanted to be a TV
Did
host.
you want to save the world?
World peace. April 15th, perfect date, Miss Congeniality. But no, I wanted to be a news anchor or like on TV interviewing people.
Yeah, I think we all did.
I think, what is that? Why did we all want to do that? I mean, you did pageants too?
I don't know.
Or your sister?
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah.
I think we all wanted to do it because it gave us the opportunity to do what we're doing now, which is speak to mass amounts of people at one time.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, that's kind of what drove my passion for it. But then once you actually get into it and you realize that you don't have creative control and that you're kind of like telling stories that are just hard to tell.
I agree. And you aren't really working the best hours.
No.
You're kind of doing the opposite hours of
Yeah.
a normal work day. And I think that's what was like, I actually was in that major and then pulled out because I was like, I actually kind of want to work
something more stable.
more 8 to 5 kind of thing. You know?
So what did you go to school for? Like, what did you graduate with?
Public relations.
Okay. So you went from broadcast journalism to public relations and you went to UT Knox.
Yep.
And I went to Memphis, opposite ends of the state and definitely rivals always, especially in basketball.
Yeah.
So but okay. So pageant Natalie wanted to save the world with world peace and also jump right into broadcast journalism, but she chose to go in a different direction. And so did I.
Yes.
But at the same time, don't you think that was the point when you, like when people say that we're influencers now, I feel like I was always an influencer.
Yeah.
I just feel like I've always been building this community. Do you feel like that was your case?
I think that that's a really good point. I don't think I've thought about it like that, but I think for the people that do become influencers, I think a lot of people think, oh, they just got lucky or whatever. And it's kind of like it's almost like a personality type. Like you said, it kind of like, it's like a natural born.
You have it or you don't.
Yeah.
But what do you think when people say, I want to be an influencer, like now, like that is like the job. It's like, I want to
know.
Does it not make it?
It's wild. Like everybody.
Natalie and I don't need to record this podcast. We need to just have these conversations in private.
At lunch. But yeah, I mean, I think there's space for everybody because I feel like everybody is an influencer.
Yeah.
Almost. Like
I do too.
No matter who shows up on my page, I'm like, whoa, okay, everybody's an influencer. There's so many people now.
I think everyone's an influencer, but it is interesting to aspire to be one.
Yeah.
Versus like just aspiring to just like do what you're doing.
Yeah.
It's kind of like in pageantry, you gotta have to have all of these areas. You have to focus on talent. You have to hone interview. You have to hone fitness. Like you have to hone all these things. You can't just go get the title. You have to do the work for all these different departments.
You nailed it.
Yeah.
Because it is not what it looks like.
No.
And you have to have, it seems like it's really not a lot of skill, but it actually takes a lot of skills.
Yeah. Well, and for those of us who went to school for marketing or public relations, or now people are going to school for social media. When we were in school, that was not an option.
That's a major?
I know, it's crazy.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's like a concentration.
Wow.
So at a lot of places.
Okay.
So yeah, or they have like a social media course.
Okay.
Like when I went to speak at Belmont, they had like an influencer marketing course.
Wow.
And I was like, oh,
I did not know that.
Yeah, people are studying us.
I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah. So
Wow.
even though Martha Stewart was the original influencer and she's been doing this for a long time, people are now like catching on to the fact that this is a real career, which I appreciate.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I definitely do.
So?
Yeah, I mean, for a long time, my parents wouldn't tell their friends what I did. They were like, don't worry about it.
What do they say now?
Oh, they're so proud now. Because people understand it now.
Yeah.
But when I first started, people were like, "What? She needs to go get a real job." You know, and it was.
Well, I still feel like people don't know what we do. I mean, I was at Alex's grandmother's 110th birthday, and his mom was like, I tell people I think that you're like a blogger, and his cousins were like, yeah, I think she's a blogger. And then I was like, that's fine. I'll take it.
Yeah,
I'll do that.
Blog.
Yeah.
Is your blog up?
Yeah, it's still up.
It
doesn't have anything on it, anything relevant or new from like the past 2 years. But I do want to get back into blogging, though. I feel like it kind of gave us the outlet that we were describing for us to share more of our substance,
more of your personality. I think that's like we were talking about that before the started recording. Is it's really hard on Instagram because you are the one filming.
Yeah. To
get that true picture of like who you are as a person and your personality, like your true core values. Like people don't see that, and then it's easy for people to immediately go and like
have a
hate
perception.
On you.
Yeah,
when it's like, oh, but you don't actually know me. I really don't think I'm that great. Like,
well, actually, I think I'm greater in real life. I tell people that all the time. It's funny because those of y'all who know me, you're all like, why don't you share more on social media? And I'm like, well, what do y'all want me to do? Put on a full comedy show?
Yes, I do.
Social media.
I do, actually.
It's funny when we were in Palm Beach with me and Sarah Knuth. And,
for the Zoe strollers?
Yeah. It was so funny because we were sitting around talking in our pajamas one night, and they were like, Jazz, you should share more of yourself on social media. And I'm like, well, what do y'all want me to do?
You're doing it with this.
Yes, I feel like I'm doing it with the podcast.
This is where you need to be.
But that's the thing with influencer stuff. So we started years ago doing this. And so at this point, it takes years and kind of like building blocks for you to get to a place of where you want to segue and do this and do that and do everything.
I agree.
So you have segued because she also was in a sales job. So I want to talk about how you went from PR into sales.
Yes.
Let's go there.
Okay, so I wanted to work in PR, but honestly, I couldn't really find a job. And so I felt like my dad always said he was in sales, and he always told me, he's like, I just think you have like a natural, like.
Well, you have to be like a certain aesthetic and a certain personality for sales too.
Kind of like, don't give up. Just So I went into staffing sales originally, loved it, really. I felt like I really excelled there and did well. And then I wanted to move to medical sales because I think medical sales has this idea where it's like the top, like that is where your top salespeople are. And like, so I was really interested.
In a sense.
It is. But I didn't love selling to hospitals, really. Like there wasn't that personal connection that I really thrive on. Anyways, I felt like my job, and I've always felt like this in jobs. I don't know if I work really fast, but I was always bored. Like ever since I started, I'm like, okay, I've completed my job and I have 5 hours left in the day. Like what am I supposed to do?
Well, I think nobody talks about it, but we are the generation that kind of reframed what that looked like because everybody before us was sending snail mail and then sitting around waiting on Kinko's to print stuff out. And like our generation was like, let me send this email real quick.
Yes. Like
let me shoot a text message.
Just
let me pick up the phone and call like real quick.
Yes.
But we sped up that whole workforce.
Yeah, that's true.
Whereas all of our parents, they were still waiting on the letter that John sent 2 weeks ago.
That's very true. And they are our bosses in corporate. And so you have to work the way that they work. And anyways, the way I got into blogging was I had all this time. Like I finished my job and I was like, I've got 5 hours left in the day. So what am I going to do?
Yeah.
And so then I started my blog. I remember getting on Instagram and I was at a work conference for my medical sales job. And my coworker was like, my friend just started doing this and like, look how cool it is. And she showed me like how she was posting pictures. And I was like, I could do that. And I want to do that. And then I just started it as soon as I got home.
Did you think it was as easy as it looks?
No, I actually, Pat, when we kind of talked about being on this podcast, I was talking to my husband and I was like, what do you think was the hardest part of like my career in this space? And he was like, getting started. He was like, I didn't like see you. Like I didn't, like, you just were hustling, head down, hustling.
I remember you texting me being like, Pat's like, will you get off your phone?
He was like, is this how our life is going to be? Like, but yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot more work.
But what did the hustle entail at the beginning? I want you to tell people like what all this looked like. Yeah. Like, why were you like head down in your phone in that way? Head down in your computer?
Well, we were writing blogs.
Yeah.
And like long ones, linking everything up, linking all the products, creating like widgets. I mean, I was you're basically a web designer. And then I was loading my car up. I posted twice a day, every day.
Yeah.
New outfits.
Yep.
And so, which that was really bad. We actually got in a bad conversation about that because I was racking up credit card debt, buying all these clothes. And anyways, ended up working out, but it's a little crazy. But anyways, I would post 2 outfits a day and I would load my car up twice a week full of clothes and walk around downtown Nashville shooting them all day. And then a huge part of it back then was engaging. Like if you wanted to grow, you had to engage with other people on Instagram.
And that's when the algorithm actually worked with engagement. Now it's like, it doesn't matter how many comments you leave at this point. Yeah, it's not going to help.
It doesn't help you, but it used to.
It did.
And so you had to truly be on your phone like
24/7.
24/7 just commenting on. I remember just like commenting as fast as I possibly could.
But don't you kind of miss that hustle just a little bit sometimes, the excitement of it? Because I remember when you used to do that, and then remember I'd go to Murfreesboro and shoot with Rachel, who was Rachel was my photographer before I gave her to like all of Nashville. Rachel was mine.
We took her.
Yeah, they took Rachel. So shout out to Rachel.
Rachel's amazing.
Rachel is amazing.
Pictures. I'll never forget your pictures where you were in like a parking garage with the lights.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That's like iconic Jasmine photo. You should show that to people.
You know what? I got to go back and find it. Are you ever like that? Like you've taken so many photos at this point? I mean, because we've been at this for like a decade.
Yeah.
So it's like literally, I mean, I went to go shoot some new headshots with Rachel the other day. Before I went to shoot them, I fell down the stairs in my house.
You fell down the...
Oh, yeah, that was the week that we were
your stories. And you were... had your foot up.
Yeah.
I messaged you. I was like, oh my gosh.
Girl, I literally...
Your heels today?
I'm doing much better, but I'm still on the struggle bus.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that was bad.
I literally was headed to shoot some headshots with her, and I had like 2 bags of clothes, like we're talking about.
Going back in the day.
Yeah, back in the day, the hustle. I had like 2 bags of clothes. I wasn't even going to shoot all the clothes. I was just going to have Rachel tell me like, what do you want me to wear? Because Rachel's that good.
Yeah, she's that. I let her tell me.
Yes, I let her tell me everything.
Same.
If you want me to look like this,
yeah, I'll do it.
Yes,
you tell me.
Because when you get the photos back, you look amazing.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's wild.
She's insane.
Rachel would be like, lean this way and put your shoulder
you're
this
so
way.
Uncomfortable.
Yes.
I'm like, girl, I love you, but I've been in this pose 15 minutes. I'm actually getting cramps.
Yes.
I like gotta go.
Period. So I show up and I was like, my leg was bleeding because the strap from my heel like cut into my ankle when I fell down the stairs. And I was like, whatever, like you booked the space. We're doing this. She was like, no worries. So then she starts directing me. She sent me the photos the other day. I do not look like what I've been through. It just made me think like I used to drive to Murfreesboro at like 5 o'clock in the morning before going into the office at Meharry, remember?
Yeah.
And
I do remember.
And then we'd meet up and go to influencer events at night. Like, the hustle was real.
It was so real, but we were at a good spot to do it. We didn't have kids yet. We were in our 20s. Like,
and then also like the influencer community was much smaller. And I feel like we all kind of got to know each other. It just looked different then.
It did.
So now everyone wants to be an influencer. They want this title. And sometimes the title's kind of weird to me. I almost like the title of blogger a little better.
No, yeah, I mean, I can see that. I don't ever think about the title, to be honest.
Yeah. Why?
I don't know. I just think about it as like my job. I don't really think of like when people ask what I do, I'm not like, oh, I'm an influencer. I'm like, oh, I have an Instagram with followers and I like post my life on there.
Yeah, I feel like that's a simple way of saying it, but then also I
It's the
think
same thing.
yes, it's the same thing, but I think it's different whenever you have the pedigree of the hard work to go behind it
Yeah.
versus being like, well, I woke up today and I want to be an influencer.
Yeah, that's true.
But like we've learned so much. Like
Yeah.
we know how to push through. Like literally, like I think the same day I fell down the stairs, well, you were supposed to be on the podcast
Yes.
like 2 days after that.
Yeah.
But then like you were sick and it's like, okay, fine. Like we don't want to do this when you're not like 100% because
Yeah. I would be like,
killing over out here. And that's not okay. But I do want to go back to something that you said when you were talking about how much debt like you were racking up on credit cards to buy these clothes and stuff.
Yeah.
And then because people don't talk about the expense that we incur too.
Yeah.
It's a lot of expense to run this business.
it's a lot of expense.
Yeah, like I have to pay them and like you know
Yeah.
it's like you're outsourcing constantly
Yeah.
and you have teams of people who help you out. Rachel and like literally I feel like everyone steals my people. Like Haley was my makeup artist. Do you remember Haley, Makeup Haley? And then now she's with Bunny and Jelly.
Yeah, I do.
I'm like, I cannot get in with her.
You find people
and then,
first.
Exactly. And then Cookie's now doing everyone's makeup. I just can't. So I'm the OG influencer of the Nashville influencers. Just want to stake my claim there.
Okay, I love
I've
it.
given all of y'all my
I mean,
people.
you helped me in the beginning. I remember when I met you. I'll never forget because Pat and I talk about it all the time. I was like, Pat, I met a new friend and like we went to the gym together, and I was like, I can't believe it. Like it's crazy. She has like 50,000 followers, and I was like, I was like, I can't even fathom that. Like it was so crazy, and I was like, I just am so excited, and you like let me learn from you. It was just you're so nice to me.
Girl, I never looked at the followers as like a thing. I still don't think I do. I'm still like, I prefer just the real life connection and the warmth that we all give each other.
I agree. I think that it's more too about like the followers don't matter as much as like your community.
Yeah. Like, or the fact that you have real life connections. Like, who are your real life friends?
Agreed.
Yeah. Like, where do you go to church? Like, what's your school community?
Yeah. What
like,
is your life?
Yeah. What
does
did you
your
like
life
in
feel like?
college? Yeah.
Does your life feel good? Do your relationships in real life? That's what I always try to gauge on. Like when I get a lot of hate or anything on Instagram, I'm always like, do my real life people think I'm like they still love me? Like they think I'm acting normal. So.
Well, and you can't please everybody. I think that's the thing. The more followers you have to look at the percentages of people that you can please versus like people that you can't.
Yep.
And no matter what, you could post literally you sitting here with flowers and somebody would be like, her eyebrow is like twitching. Or
it's crazy.
So I've had to get over perfectionism
Agreed.
with influencer stuff because for a long time, even when I was working with Rachel all the time, she would like have to tell me, you need to calm down, because I'd be like, well, I don't like that like my shirt is this way, or I don't like that like my lipstick is like hanging off the side of my face.
I remember being more picky then too though.
Yeah.
And but now I'm like more like, oh, that's just like what I look like.
Yeah, that's what I look like. Or maybe that's not what you look like. Because sometimes whenever I'm reviewing videos or photos, I'm like, well, the lens. Or I'm also like,
sometimes camera lenses I think make you look shorter.
They can make you look shorter.
I'm like,
or
why
something.
do I look short?
Yeah. Or
I'm like
just
not that short.
Or like I was watching back a video from the podcast and I had 3 chins. But
You
like I
definitely
clearly don't have 3 chins.
You don't have 3 chins.
But
You
in
look
that
so good.
particular video, I had 3 chins. So but then I was like, you know what? I'm posting this with my 3 chins because my chinny chin chins are not
chinny chin chins.
They are not what we're going for here. We're going for the message.
Yeah.
So, but I do want to go back to that. I feel like, see, this is why I just can't with us, because we can't stay on track.
Okay, let's stay on track.
We're talking about the debt.
Yeah.
Because it's ironically having this conversation with my sister Valerie, the one that's the musician.
Oh, yeah.
And we were talking about how much money it takes entrepreneurs to actually function in business.
Yep.
And so Valerie's like, well, I don't ever want to be in debt again. She's like, but she's wildly successful at this point and she doesn't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
But then there are some people that are like trying to get their start. And for me, I am like, invest in the business.
Yeah.
If you need the outfits, if you need the camera, if you need whatever resources you need to tap into to get the business going,
Agreed.
invest in them and make it look as good as you can.
Yeah.
Because you'll get the money back.
You hope so. But I mean,
if it's good enough,
yes,
you know.
If it is good enough, I agree.
And you stay consistent, eventually the equation equates to you leveling
success.
up. Yeah.
I agree. I didn't have any money when I started this. So I didn't have the opportunity to pull from any savings account. You know, so it was like, if I wanted to do it, I had to do debt. And it wasn't even that bad when you like look back on it. Like, I don't know what people think is bad, but I paid it off very fast.
I told Alex that.
It was like $5,000. Like, that was a lot to me.
Yeah.
But I could pay it off.
Well, now you're in your 30s. You're more mature with money practices.
Yes.
Yeah,
sure.
it just looks different.
But to start a business with that, in reality,
is no money.
That's not bad.
No, it's not a lot of money. I mean, in retrospect of it, it's like, okay, this is a small investment for the kind of business that I'm trying to do.
Exactly.
Because you can't make millions worrying about $5,000.
No, you cannot.
Like, you can't. So you kind of have to think about it on a scale like that versus, you know, the average person, obviously $5,000 to every $5,000 is a lot of money.
It is a lot.
Yes.
I'm not saying that. It is a lot. But to start a business,
it's not.
It's not.
No. And I agree. But I know some people will, again,
sorry, maybe we should take that out.
No, girl, we're not taking it out because we're having this discussion. No, they won't see it that way. That's why we're like, you know, breaking it down for people because people need to understand that. Because I feel the same way. I mean, Alex and I had $115,000 in student loans and we paid them off. But it's like,
it's amazing.
Yeah. But then we also had some credit card debt when we first got married. And now I've just said the same thing to him in the kitchen on Saturday. I was like, we had like $10,000 of credit card debt.
Yeah.
And when we first got married, and now looking back, I'm like, why were we so stressed about like God providing for us?
Agreed.
Because
that felt like a mountain on my shoulders.
Oh, yeah.
But it was, you know, I just think when you're young, it's like you haven't had the opportunity to build anything because you're having to live
or
paycheck
to see what
to paycheck.
You can do. Yeah.
So you have to.
Yeah. But I often think sometimes the perception with our lives is that someone gave us some level up. Alex and I we're both working like 2 jobs and
I mean, that's one thing that I don't love is like if people come now and then they don't know that part of me. Like, it's like, yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, they didn't see the part of you that was struggling from paycheck to paycheck to invest in the business that you built long term.
Yes.
But that's why I think it's weird.
And that girl's still there.
That girl will always be there. That girl wouldn't be here if she didn't go there. But that's why I think it's so important to have these conversations because they only see the girl that was here today.
Agreed.
And they don't hear from the girl because nobody wants to harp back on what we were doing in our 20-somethings. I saw this viral trend on social media about people posting their club photos. And so I went back on Facebook and tried to find my club photos.
Oh, my God.
I was like, wow, I was a good looking clubber.
I was good at that. I was pretty good too. I was like a serious club girl.
Yeah, like I mean the lip gloss was popping and everything was like,
That's funny.
I feel like I was destined to be where I am now because I looked good clubbing then. So I feel like when Rain goes to college and she's going to the club, she's probably going to FaceTime me. Who knows? We'll have some sort of alternate virtual reality by the end. It won't be FaceTime. Like, it'll be some sort of hologram. And she'll be like, Mom, I'm tapping into you.
It probably will be a hologram.
I know. And then she's going to pop up with some cute outfit.
Something that, like, pops up.
I know. I can't wait. But I also feel like everything that we've been building and documenting through photos and videos and podcasts and all these digital mediums is going to be so cool to look back on one day.
I agree.
And see, like, we're not doing it for the people at the end of the day. Like, your daughters are going to be able to see the girl who had the debt and the girl who built the business from working a sales job and not knowing what was next. They're going to be able to witness all of that. So you can't even worry about the perception in the meantime. But I also feel like, you know, people need to understand that they can level up. You know, you're not going to be living paycheck to paycheck forever unless you stay in the mental capacity to live like that. Like,
yeah, I mean, the scary part is you have to take a pretty big risk.
it's a risk.
Anytime.
And it's
you want to do that.
scary.
And it's very scary.
Yeah, it's very scary because sometimes I still feel like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh God.
I feel like that with Salt Project for sure.
Yeah, I can tell you feel like that with Salt Project because as soon as I mention Salt Project, she starts twitching her eyebrow. And I'm like, we have these little things that we do when we're scared.
Yeah.
But you're doing a great job.
Thank you.
So I give everyone their flowers when they come to the Sweet House. And the fact that you are even remotely where you are is like, that's a testament to all of your hard work and your dedication. And it's scary just to even put yourself out there.
It is.
You put yourself on the internet for all of the world to see.
And
you got, too. But you're also used to it because you did it in pageantry.
Yeah.
We got up there in swimsuits.
Yeah, I think I've always like made that choice. I don't know why.
Yeah.
It's just like natural.
Yeah. Well, I just always look at it like I'm going to maximize my day.
Yeah.
So sometimes I'm working after I put rain down and I'm like, I'm just going to maximize the day.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what tomorrow looks like. And I might wake up falling down the stairs with a broken leg and I can't maximize the day the way that I want to do it.
I like that. Maximize the day. Yeah.
Yes.
Pat and I were working last night at like 10:30 last night on the website.
Yeah. Because you're still a web designer, even at this phase of your
web
career.
designer again.
Yeah.
Full circle.
Yeah. I had to, I'm working on something, which I'll tell you about after this, but I had to redesign a flyer. And so the person that I was sending the flyer to for approval, she's like, oh, you know how to do graphic design? I'm like, yes, I know how to do all this.
Yeah, we know how to do everything. We know how to do it all.
If push comes to shove, I know how to hang curtains, mop floors. Like, I know how to do all of it. So
push comes to shove, I can do whatever.
Yes.
Truly.
If push comes to shove. And at this point, back to the debt and the investment in business, I feel like I've invested way too much to give up. So I'm just like not going backwards. So I think everybody who's building a business has to get in that mind frame of I have invested way too much for me to give up now. For me to even try to go back, that's just not an option.
Yep.
It's like walking backwards. Like I don't know how to do it.
Yeah, I agree. Same. I would never.
I'm like, it's easier
just
for
forward.
me to keep moving forward.
Agreed. Forward always. Always moving forward.
Oh my gosh. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. I'm proud of you.
I just can't. Like Salt Project, let's talk about it. Where did Salt Project come from? Because we're going to recap, you guys. We went from pageantry to sales to influencer life.
Yeah.
She's also married and she's a mom of 2 beautiful little babies.
Thank you.
And then she's also managing Salt Project, which is your new business.
Yes.
So first of all, I know what Salt Project is, but tell the people what is Salt Project, and then we'll get into the background of how it was born.
It's activewear that I felt like there was kind of a gap in activewear where we had this like really unbelievably expensive stuff, like, and then we had like your Amazon stuff, and I was like, I just feel like there's a space where we want something that's like insane quality, and we can have these really cute sets, and I just wanted them to fit so well.
They do fit so good.
Thanks.
They're cut well. You know how, especially for the girls with the boobs and the hips, i.e. me, some stuff is cut weird, and it makes you have like a mom pooch that you don't have, back to things that we don't have, like 3 chinny chin chins.
Yes.
I'm like, some pants, I look like I have 6 stomachs.
Yes, I agree. And it's like, but you have like the best hourglass shape, and I felt that way too. I'm like, I just feel like some clothes just aren't fitting me right.
Yeah.
And so I just felt like, I was like, I just feel like we can make these like the clothes that I want to wear. And I also didn't want to, I feel like there's this like super sexy activewear, which is great. Like if you got it, flaunt it. I'm all about that. But like, I don't personally want to wear that. But I don't want to be like, I wanted something kind of like
I go to my male trainer and I'm not interested in showing. Well, first
like
of all, the voluptuous girls can't show up like that.
Yeah,
it's just, yes, it's not going to work. It looks like we're doing something that we are not planning to do.
Yeah, it's not good.
Speaking of perception, it's like, well, I didn't actually come here to work out. I came here to take care of some other business.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
So, no, but I do love Salt Project because it fits so well. The material is well designed, and I can tell because I know you, in which I hope that you guys are taking that from this interview too, is that like she pours her heart and soul into into what she
Oh,
does.
thank you.
Like figuratively and literally, you do that. And
Thank
so when I put on my sock project, I'm just like, I feel good in it. I feel like
It makes me
confident
so
Natalie, who's like strutting her stuff in a swimsuit to be Miss Teen USA. I love it.
And that's how I want women to feel. And I
Mhm.
just feel like that's what our clothes should make everybody feel like. And that was like really my goal. It's like, I just want women to feel like so good.
Yeah.
And then I also wanted women to feel like they could have that bright color set because it's not $300.
Yeah.
You know?
Everyone always compliments me when I go to the gym and I'm in bright colors. So,
yeah.
but yes, and back to the cost of workout clothes. We used to be able to get workout clothes for like $10 for some pants and a top. And then everything skyrocketed during the pandemic because that's all people were wearing.
Yeah.
To now, like Nike's like $80 pants.
I know.
It's just like,
I know. I mean, I think that the fit has a lot to do with that. Like, you know, you have to get it so perfect. You work so hard on that and the materials and everything. So I can understand how they get to that price point. I think it's valid, but I'm like, yeah, I hope we don't have to go there. I want to like stay where I'm at.
I understand how they get to the price point, especially when you're trying to scale business.
Yes.
But,
there's so much to pay for.
Oh, yeah. But I do want to go back to how you started Salt Project because you were a mom, first-time mom with Poppy. And I know you've shared all about this on your social media, just how you just weren't feeling healthy and well. And so that kind of birthed this idea for a Salt Project.
Exactly.
So tell me more about it.
So I struggled health-wise significantly after I had my daughter. And I think a lot of women do. Like your hormones are out of balance and you cannot figure out how to, like, I just had no energy. Like I just wanted to lay down all day. I had horrible joint pain. Anyways, and then I worked with a nutrition coach and she taught me like things that I didn't realize I was doing and ways that I could improve my health and completely turned it around. And I think that's when the best businesses are born. Like for a long time when I had my Instagram, Pat and I were like, we really should like, you know, long term, you don't always want to be sharing your life on Instagram. We should kind of like find some other things to do. And it kind of just naturally was like the natural line of work to go into. And it's something I love clothes so much. I love clothes. And so it was just like the perfect fit. So I remember driving home from the gym one day and I had told Pat a few times, I was like, I want to start an activewear business. And then it was like, you know, I'm a Christian. I know you are too. And you know, in God, you almost feel like somebody else is speaking to you. And that's how I felt. And I felt like God was saying like, you will start an activewear business. And I told Pat, I said, I don't know what to tell you, but I'm just saying this was placed on my heart so like clearly that like I can't turn around and we will be like, we have to do this. And he was like, okay.
Yeah. Has he ever thought you were crazy?
I think he thinks I'm crazy a lot.
Do you think that every other people in your life that are close to you feel like you are crazy when you make business decisions like this?
I don't know, maybe, but I don't know. Like, I just think it's just who I am.
Yeah.
And I think you're the same. Like, I would never think you were crazy and you would never think I was crazy.
No, I think that's why we work.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people around us think we're crazy.
Yes.
Like even us saying we're willing to go into debt to like get out of debt.
Yeah.
It sounds crazy, but it's really not crazy.
No, it's not.
It's like, it's the bid that you have to pay.
Yeah.
So it's just,
I mean,
you know, I'm willing to go to the lottery with this.
I know. I want, and the thing is you're betting on yourself.
Yes.
And if you feel like you can do it, then you can do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
No, seriously. But I do think when you're starting a new business, it's easy to feel the raft of everything around you swirling, and it kind of feels God has to speak to you because everything else around you feels like this is not going to happen for me.
Yeah. Your reason why has to be so strong that you can't teeter. And I also feel like that in health and wellness. Like your reason why has to be such a strong driving force that you don't back down.
Yeah.
You know?
Speaking of, which I'm going to go back, I feel like we're all over the place with this interview, but I do want to go back to some of the principles that we learn in pageantry.
Yeah.
Because you learn early on that kind of discipline.
The discipline and like, yes, I agree.
Yeah. And even with pageantry, everyone thinks that it's just, you're going for the crown. And I'm like, I got third runner up in Miss Memphis 3 times. And I learned more than than anything else in my life. I'm like, I mean, literally Shay, the director of Miss Memphis, had me come back to judge. And she's like, you're my honorary Miss Memphis. Because like she saw how hard I worked on every little aspect of it. And so even when you speak of health and wellness, it is easier when you've already built this line of discipline to resort back to it. Yeah.
I think that's very true. Yeah. And I think in pageants, you learn more than you ever realize. I mean, you learn how to speak clearly. Yeah. You learn how to like, I felt like when I interviewed for jobs after college, pageants set me up for success there.
Yeah.
Big time.
You know what I get a lot? I get people that are like, can you give us a different answer, not a pageant answer? And I'm like, why?
People say that to you?
Yeah.
I've never heard that.
Yeah, people say that to me. And I'm like, well,
I feel like you're so real.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know what you want me to say.
Yeah, that's surprising. I wouldn't think that people would say that to you.
People say that to me a lot. And I'm like, well, the answer is what it is. But even when I was doing pageants, I felt like they were looking for me to cry in the interviews and stuff. I remember I was working with an interview coach one time, and she kind of was like, well, I feel like you should just, one girl shared that her dad was in jail. I'm like, well, honey, that ain't my situation. I'm like, I have 2 parents who've been married for 40 something years. Like, if that sounds like a pageant answer, I'm not sure what to give you. But I also
sorry,
feel
I have a good story.
But I also feel that way. And my story comes with its troubles too. But it's like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not the type of person that wants to harp on him. Like, I'm going to find my joy.
Same.
And it's very hard for me to like sit on the internet and cry or like.
Same.
Yeah.
I agree. When I was looking at your questions, that made me think, some of them were like, asking kind of what the like hard things I've been through. And I have to really think about those because I think my brain, and you're probably the same. Like,
yeah, it's reprogrammed.
I program my brain to see good. And it's hard for me to see bad.
Well, and even when it's bad, it's still good.
Yes.
Like, it's like I lost my dad, but I see that as a trial that I was able to triumph because he shows up in other ways. Yeah. So, it's just like and to me, that's like the worst thing that's happened to me. Yeah. I'm like, I don't know what else worse. How much worse can it get?
Yeah, I agree.
Like,
I'm
sorry. And I'm still like standing, and then I feel every ounce of him with me.
Yeah, that's
so
amazing.
It's not like I don't resort to like, oh my God, it's the end of the world. I can't go on. Like, even sometimes when people say to me, I don't know, how are you doing? I'm like, what do you mean? Like,
I know.
I don't have another option here.
But that's just who you are.
Yeah.
Which is like a beautiful way to live life and an outlook too.
Yeah. But I do think people want that from us. And I'm just like, well, I don't really have that to give. I'm sorry.
I know. I don't either. I truly mostly see good. Like even in small things, like I think when I go to like a restaurant or anything, travel, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the best thing ever. And people around me would be like, oh, like this could have improved. I'm like, oh, I didn't notice that. Or about other people.
Or if you did notice it, you find like the other parts of it that are good.
Or it's not that big of a deal to like care.
No.
Or,
But okay, Salt Project, because we veered totally off. But so you started to design it. How long from ideation all the way through where we are now? How long was that? How many years?
It was a year to like kind of get it launched. A little over a year. And designing the pieces, and we design everything, we create it, and it all comes from like ideas that we have and different fabrics. And so I get that question a lot, but we design all the pieces. We tweak everything exactly how we want it, perfect the fit and everything like that. And I love it. Like it is my passion. I saw Pat on the sewing
machine.
Yes.
I thought that was funny.
We try to figure out the sewing machine. We do mostly like safety pins. Sewing is hard.
Sewing is hard.
It's really hard.
What's crazy is my mom used to sew all of our pageant dresses.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, there's 5 of us, but 3 girls, me and Kayla and Valerie, and my mom did everybody's hair. Girl, she was a full-on hairstylist, makeup artist.
She did it all.
I mean, she was like the pageant
amazing.
mom. She would be backstage, like doing other people, like helping out wherever. I'm just like, it's wild to think about it now. Because again, looking back, I'm like, how did you do this again? Like, I'm struggling to get me and Rain out of the door every morning. Like,
I know.
Yeah.
It's wild to think about that. I think about that with my parents too.
Yeah, it is crazy. But so Salt Project was a year in the making, which I'm going to harp on because, again, you didn't wake up and decide that this is what was going to happen.
No, that was hard because we our clothes have been we are so thankful because people show up and they buy our clothes, and we have sold out almost every single launch since we dropped. But from a year in the making, I didn't know if anybody was going to buy this. Like Pat and I kept saying, what if we're stuck with a garage full of like all of this activewear? And
did you self-fund too?
Did I what?
Self-fund it? Like you paid for the business yourself?
Yeah, so everything is self-funded by us because we wanted to keep it, like, it is a family business, and Pat and I wanted to make all the decisions, and so that's really important to us. And so to this day, like, we make every single decision. It's our business.
Yeah, and we live in a world where everyone wants angel investors or they're trying to pitch their business that way. And I am seeing a lot of small businesses that are moving back to the mom and pop model.
Yes.
Because it works better for your vision for your business and you to be able to have control, creative control.
Exactly.
Yeah, and all of that over your business.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Then you have to give up those decisions. Like,
yeah.
We make every single decision. I basically can do anything I want to do with our clothes, with our business, and I love it.
With you and all of the competitors, the Nike, the Athleta, just everybody that also has workout wear or athleisure, how do you feel being amidst all of those different brands and building your brand?
To be honest, it's kind of like one of those things where I stay in my lane and I try to just have remember where I started, and I try not to compare too much or look at other things too much. And I do that the same with my Instagram, just kind of stay in my lane.
Yeah. I feel the same, but I asked that question because I think a lot people are afraid to get started in anything because they assume that it's been done. There's no place for them. It's like, why would I come out with some shoes? People have been wearing shoes since Jesus was born.
I know. I agree. I think that is, you can talk yourself out of anything, but there's always space.
Yeah.
There's always space for you.
Yeah.
If you have a clear vision and you have the drive and you have a business idea that you really feel will work, like there's always space.
And how do you feel you find that vision and the drive to do what you're doing every day? What does Natalie do to talk herself up to it?
Oh my goodness. I don't know. I don't know that I talk myself up to it. I think it's like just like kind of who I am. I actually saw a quote and I was like, this is, I think, exactly how I live my life. It was like, maybe you don't see your success because you're constantly leveling up.
Oh, yeah.
And so I think that it's never like, I can never hit a bar because it's always up.
I said that the other day. I'm too busy moving on and moving up to even realize how far I've come, which is a good and a bad thing because it keeps me tunnel vision, straightforward, driving the train. But then also sometimes I'm like, you know what? I really should just relish in,
like, appreciate it.
Yes. Relish in the prayers that I've prayed.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And we both have those moments where we do. Yeah. I think that I try to take, like, if something big happens, anytime we have a Salt Project launch, I cry every one, like just out of
I need
thankfulness.
You to get on the internet and just boo-hoo. I need you to let it all out.
I don't like to film it.
I'm
but
kidding.
I'll like cry. Pat will look at me
I'm
and he's
joking.
like, "Are you crying?" And I'm like, "Yes," because people showed up and like they don't know how much this means because this is our small business and we've taken a risk to like open this, and it just means so much when you see the people in the map of the country and like people all over the country are showing up, and it's just like, it's just incredible. It means like so much to us.
So I know Salt Project was also born out of the idea that you don't want to have to share your life on the internet in the same way that we're influencers for a long time. So what else would you be doing if you didn't become an influencer, if you didn't go into sales, you didn't go into PR, and you didn't start Salt Project? Like, what would you be doing?
Like for my job?
Yeah.
Trying to do this.
Yeah.
Probably.
Oh, so Natalie's like 50 Cent. She's going to get rich or die trying.
Okay. I can't believe you said that. That's like my motto. I say that all the time. I wrote it in my office on the wall.
Oh my gosh. I have to
When we were building the house.
Oh.
When we were building the house on the thing, I said, get rich or die trying.
Okay. See, it was meant to be. God's always in orbit and like planning all this out for us.
But it's kind of a joke. But
Yeah.
it's just like, it's just funny.
It's kind of a joke, but it's like a real ideology. Yeah.
It's a joke, but it's real. But my girlfriend, it all started when I was in a sales job. My girlfriend was like, she started saying it to me, and like when I was doing my sales calls, she'd be like, get rich or die trying. And so then I was like, wait, this is hilarious. And so then I just started like saying it as like a little thing. But
anyways. You know what, rich also comes in the form of so much other stuff, like family. And
well, that's why when I said that, I was like, okay, I don't want people to think I'm all about money, because I'm not. I mean, to me, rich is the fact that I can, like, on Thursdays, just like Thursdays are my stay-at-home mom days. And like that is a rich life to me, that I can be like, Thursdays are my day that I'm just with my kids, and I am like just, you know, and there are other days too, but that's like my one day of the week that during the work week that I have carved out.
I think my rich life is waking up this morning and Alex was off to work, and then I got Rain and I dressed, and then I dropped her off at school, and then I get to film this podcast, because I could have waited to find a job in broadcast journalism with the odd hours and all of that. But I just don't think that was not the ordained path for me. But I feel like this is my rich life because, you know, it's hard work, but I also feel I feel rich. I feel like I need some like fake Usher money.
Yeah. I think rich life too is also, and one thing that I'm so thankful for is having a job that you genuinely enjoy doing. And I remember always talking to Pat, because he owns a car business and he loves cars. And when I was in sales, I remember just telling him, I wish I had a job like you, where you like, you're in an area that you genuinely love. Like I would just love to be in like a passion area for me. And then so to have a job where you are in that is,
I think what it is for me is not having to conform to the systems, how we were talking about at the beginning of the interview, of waiting on the snail mail, and you're still reporting to those type of managers who operate under those systems. Under our system, there is no blueprint. And for your business and my business and, I don't know, Ashley's business and Alexa and just Mallory and Hunter and everybody's business looks different. So it's like you can't mind somebody else's business and do your business efficiently. You have to mind your own business to get your business to a successful point. And to me, that's the richness of it. That's where I feel like we're exactly where we're supposed to be.
I agree.
So I do want to ask you about your baby girls, and then we're done.
Okay.
So you are in motherhood, which is crazy because neither one of us were moms, even thinking about becoming moms when we met.
I know.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
A lot of times I'm like, wow, I just can't believe I'm at this stage in my life already. Do you feel like that?
Yeah, I still feel 16.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm like, wait a minute, who was that person?
I'm like, how do I have like a house and kids? Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, I don't know what we're doing here, but we're doing whatever God said we were doing. Look,
just,
motherhood is working the Lord's plan,
I know,
period.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
But working mom life as an entrepreneur, what does that look like for you?
I think that I love my girls, and they're like my whole, like, I know you feel the same about Rain. Like, there's nothing better. But if I'm being completely honest, working life up until starting Salt Project was really good because I had a really good balance. My balance is definitely off now. And so I'm working towards getting that balance back, because most days I do feel overwhelmed and like I'm having a hard time because my job just takes so much time. Yeah. But I'm working on it.
Yeah.
And I think we're getting to a better place.
I know you mentioned too that you were getting ready to hire another assistant, and
Yes.
then but that's also part of the big plan. And
I think that will help a lot. And I have Shelby who helps, and she is incredible. Like, helps so much. But right now I have 2 full-time jobs.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to juggle
more
those.
than 2. You're a mom, a wife, you have influencer life, you have Salt Project.
Yeah.
And then you never know what other projects God has at your doorstep.
Mm-hmm.
So I am excited to see you continue to flourish.
Thank you.
I can't wait to see you in 10 years when the girls are preteens. And, I just feel like there's only greatness in store for you because you're dedicated to what you're doing and you're allowing it to flow from a place of abundance.
Thank you.
So thank you for coming on the Sweet House.
Having me.
And thank you for your candor and all the laughs. It's just, that's the part of this industry that I also feel like no one sees, is that some of us are long-term friends.
Yeah, we're just like fun and friends. And,
and it just feels good. But I want people to see that part of it. It's like coworkers that run their own businesses. Yeah. So but you guys follow Natalie on all social media. She's like, she's really on Instagram, but she's been dabbling on TikTok.
I'm not very good at it.
We're the old people on the TikTok.
I know, I'm not good at it. I'm
not
hard.
either.
I spend so much time on Instagram. I'm like, how on earth? There's just not enough time in the day.
No, I'm still trying to figure it out. I mean, but I'm also giving myself the grace to be where I'm supposed to be, which,
agreed.
I mean, I've been on Instagram. I'm going to stay on Instagram.
Same.
I do still enjoy Facebook so I can see my family and friends. Mm-hmm. And then YouTube, obviously, for the podcast. And then I do use TikTok, but it's just funny. Like, I was watching this video of some guy that was like, come with me as I rob somebody's house. And I'm like, you can't be serious.
Wait, what do you mean? Was he being serious?
No, he was doing a skit.
I was like, what do you mean?
He was doing a skit, but it's just funny that he's even doing a skit about robbing somebody's house.
I know.
He was like, I don't want to be dirty, so I'm going to take my shoes off.
Oh my gosh.
I had to send you the video.
Yeah, you need to send that to me. That's the thing too right now is I feel like social media is all about showing everything. And I struggle with that because I'm like, I can't show everything because not everybody in my family wants to be shown all the time.
Not everybody in your family wants to be shown, but for your own sanity and safety, you also don't want to have to be on there 100% sharing all of your life. It's just not fair to you as a person. I don't think we were designed that way.
I don't think
we were designed to have eye contact. We have eyes. We were designed to have mouths that talk in person because we were designed to hold hands. We were designed to have the affection and the affinity that we have in our real life, in our communities. So that's why I hate when people say to me, oh, well, you should share more of your, what more do you want from me?
They want to see you turn on your light switches and stuff. Like they want to see everything. But the thing is that I watch those videos and I'm like, okay, we're filming. But if you're filming you walking out of a door, you set up a tripod.
Yeah, it's not
and
real.
You put your phone and then you went inside and then you opened the door and went outside. So it's like it feels not it doesn't feel
it's very
genuine.
rehearsed.
So it's hard for me
what
to
gets
do it.
me is the get ready with me's, and it's like, especially the ones with the kids, it's like, get ready with me, my morning routine, and I'm like, okay, so you set up the tripod to pour the cereal, and then the tripod to like do the coffee, and then the tripod to brush teeth. I'm like, who has time for this? It would take me an additional and it's just not real because this is not a day in the life. If you're doing all this, honey, it ain't a day in the life.
You would need to hire a film crew or something.
Yeah, and
not then edit it yourself. But then I'm sit down and
again. But then you have to weigh the cost of like what that looks like. Yeah. I think everyone in reality TV can tell you different perspectives of what that looks like. Yeah.
And they're edited wrong or edited differently to look not how they want to look. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. But yeah. Anyways, I just started talking about that.
I know.
I don't know.
We could go on a tangent.
It's just hard. And I will do those videos sometimes. I do enjoy watching them. But I've never filmed myself walking out the door because I think that one really just is a hard one for me.
I have a hard time with that one. I have a hard time with a lot of it, to be honest. But If that's your way of doing content and it works for you,
I like it. Yeah, I like watching it.
Yeah.
And I think it's great. Yeah.
Yeah. Then I'm
More
like,
kudos to them.
Yeah.
It's just hard to share.
Well, it's just
every
not my
second of your day.
style. Yeah. So, it's not my thing, but that's okay. But you guys, thank you so much for watching this episode of The Sweet House. And thank you so much for coming on. You guys go follow Natalie. Stay in touch with both of us because we're Nashville OGs.
Nashville OGs.
And we've been doing this for a long time. So, yeah.
Yay. Thank you for having me.